Welcome to episode 99 of the Analog Assault Podcast. This week we're talking all about Cyberpunk 2077. So let's go!
You're listening to Analog Assault, a video game podcast by Mulehorn Gaming.
Whoa! Y'all ready for this? Cyberpunk 2077? Who's ready for some Cyberpunk?
Oh man,
This guy.
This guy.
lady. This lady.
Yeah, you guys, I'm really excited to talk about this. I've been studying up. We had a week off, so I got to read up on all this, and prime time's going to help me.
Homework.
Oh, yeah, exactly. We had some homework. So before we get into this, guys, just want to say, if you like the content here and you want to help support MHG, keep the lights on, then smash that sub button right here on Twitch. And you can watch us live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Mulehorn Gaming every Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, everyone, I was going to say guys.
Yes, Mule.
Just say guys. It's good,
Guys, yeah. What you been playing? What you been watching? What you been doing?
Well, as you may guess, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I
never would have guessed.
I thought
I
you were
know,
playing
right?
Destiny.
Well, no. I have the map completely void of question marks.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Finally knew the
To a
story.
main-
The whole
Right?
map?
So far, there's two places I haven't explored yet.
Wow.
For small places. About to go to a major part of the story, and I have 2 cultists to kill before I have the main one.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got
Dang.
spoiled for who the main one is.
Yeah. 160 hours.
Wow.
Dang,
And
dude.
I'm really loving taming animals now. It's a lot of fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
When you tame animals, do you does your skill grow for what kind of animals you can tame?
No.
Oh, it's
Oh.
always
No, it's the more points you put into it, the bigger animals you can get.
yeah, okay.
Okay.
I had
So,
a
bears and lions.
bears is the highest
Lions, tigers, and bears.
alpha animals. The lynx is the best because they're
Oh,
like
those lynx
freaking
can
troll ninjas,
go-
man.
Oh,
Dude, they
go
jump on your
right-
back and they're like,
Oh, they're
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I'm like,
When you
get
get to
them.
the
Like,
one
I snipe
island
up
where you
when I
run into them for the first time, oof.
yeah.
They
Well, I ran
wrecked
into a
me at
mountainside
first.
one time, and when I was done, I had slayed about 25 of them. I was like, holy crap. That was a heavy litter. And but that and My Hero Academia, I think I'm at the end of season 3.
Dang,
so
dude.
it's like
Nice.
50 episodes. Holy crap.
Yeah.
So, what part are you at now?
Let's see. All Might is officially done, and the
Okay.
torch has been passed.
See, I've watched that episode multiple times, and every single time you really get the feels on that one.
Yeah, I'm like,
If there's anything you can get feels from that show, it is that episode.
yeah. All Might can be a cheese ball, but man, when he really lays it on,
Mhm. It's your turn now.
right. Well, that's me, man. How about you guys?
I finally finished The Expanse.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm
nice.
loving that. Now I'm just waiting for the next season. I'm really excited for whenever that
Mhm.
starts.
Mhm.
Did that. Been watching some animes. What did I watch? I don't remember what I watched. It was something real short. Oh, I rewatched. Well, I guess apparently I'd never. A real popular one is ReZero. It's one of the first isekai about this guy who gets teleported to a kind of fantasy world, and every time he dies, he basically respawns at a later time, but he keeps all the memories of what happened. So he tries to fix problems by doing that. He doesn't ever. I think maybe a handful of times he actually purposely dies, but because it really hurts him. Like he experiences all the pain and everything. It's a little crazy sometimes.
That's a cool concept. I like that.
Yeah. And sometimes he comes back not all mentally there because obviously he still has all the memories of everything that just happened. And
That's
enjoying
cool.
that. I've been playing some Destiny. New Moments of Triumph
Not surprised.
dropped this week, so been starting to work on that. Got the new exotic trace rifle. Really enjoying the hell out of that thing.
Yeah, that thing's awesome.
It's
Yeah.
very fun.
And obviously some more PSO2.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Nice.
Keeping that rolling.
Yeah. So for as unsurprising that it is that Thad is playing Odyssey, I'm playing a lot of Destiny. Shock. That's what I've been doing. And the new linear is not linear. Jeez, trace rifle is really fun. There's too many guns that do that, and so that was confusing for me just then. But the new trace rifle is really fun. I actually just before this got my catalyst finished.
Nice.
So that
Nice.
was dope. Shout out to iGame for his great YouTube video on where all of the eyes are. I have not gotten all of them yet, but I did get obviously enough to get the catalyst complete.
iGame does know a few things.
He knows a
Just
lot
a
of
few.
things. Yeah, iGame, teach me, senpai. But yeah, so and I've loving my warlock recently. I got a Wii ran in Iron Banner last week on my warlock, and ever since I've just like been kind of married to her, which has been really fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I also was craving some single player action, so I re-downloaded. I have Xbox Game Pass on PC, and I re-downloaded Plague Tale: Innocence,
Okay.
which I played about 3 chapters of a while ago. I watched. There's a channel on YouTube I really like. Who this guy does a bunch of Let's Plays, and I watched him play Horizon Zero Dawn, and then I bought it. And then I watched him play Spider-Man, and then I bought it. And then I watched him play this game, and I was like, "Ooh, I gotta play this." And so I played it a little while ago, and then it's intense. It's hard for me to play a lot at once because it's a really intense story. But I played another chapter the other night, and it was great. Very good story. So that's what I've been doing. And then my husband and I have been working through for the first time I'm ever watching it. He's seen it before. The animated series X-Men. So
Nice.
yeah,
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
yeah.
Dun-dun-dun-dun. Nice.
Rogue quickly moved up to like my number 2 favorite
Yeah.
superhero. It's Spider-Man, Rogue, Captain Marvel, actually. So Rogue is great. I love her. I have a really cool Rogue pop behind me. It's the new one from that series. It's so good with the hair and everything. It's great.
Classic.
Very nice.
Yeah, so that's what's been going on in Radical House of
Right
Rad.
on.
New Radical House.
New Radical
new
House. 3 weeks.
Rad
Well,
House.
it's been around for a while, but I've owned it for 3 weeks.
There you go.
Shout out, Mama. She's staying Rogue for the win there. Yeah.
So I've been like most of you playing a lot of Destiny 2 again. Having fun with that. Actually
Welcome
enjoying the grind. I'm not burnt out right now.
Yeah.
So
Agree.
Yes.
and I
took
did
both
do a
you
little
through a raid last week.
yes.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. That is true.
We played some Iron Banner on Monday, so that was fun with our man
Yeah.
Lupo. And I did something else, guys. I re-downloaded SOTOR.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, 5 days. I give you
Prime,
5
Prime
days.
and
5
Nate were
days,
saying
huh?
4 to 5 days, and I'd be done playing it. And I'm like, man, I don't know. I enjoy
I'd
the game.
love it if there was just a little bit more action combat.
Yeah,
It's a great game. I hate tab targeting.
yeah.
I can deal with it, but the way it just works, like because I've played so many other like full action MMOs,
Yeah.
I just can't get over it. Like ESO has some of the best action combat for an MMO that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it's like if you could just take that and put it into SWTOR, it would be the #1 game. I bet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
the
pretty
story, I
good
think.
as it is.
Yeah. I think it's more of like a story-based MMO because it's like BioWare writing, typical BioWare writing.
Mhm.
But
What was the last thing you said about it on one of your streams recently? When someone asked you about it,
I said it was a little too slow paced.
just don't know if
Like,
I can get back into it.
Just
yeah,
don't know.
I mean,
I don't
I
know.
wanted to try. I wanted to try, and plus, I wanted to play as like a I rewatched The Mandalorian, and so that like rekindled
Aha,
like I want to play
there
as
we go.
a merc, you know.
How
Squirrel.
many
And
times? How many times have you watched Mando?
three times through.
All right,
This is the way.
that was the number I had in my head.
Yeah,
Very nice.
and I had like 3,000 cartel coins, so I went and bought a Mando skin, and you know, re-download it so I can play like a Mandalorian.
We'll get a
but,
game in a few years. Don't worry.
Yeah, yeah, right. But it was funny, and this is going to go for Sergeant Mad Dog because he redeemed a Star Wars lore fact. I picked up on a lot of stuff I missed like the first time through. I had like a little theory that came through about why Baby Yoda is so important, or the child. And I'll just give it right here. My theory was that you know, when in episode 3. I don't have the tinfoil hat. I can't put it on. Sorry, fake.
Lame.
But, episode 3, he's looking in at the client and the cloner, and they're talking about Baby Yoda, and they say extract the necessary material that you need, and they'd be done with it. He's like, but we were given instruction to bring it in alive. And I was like, hold on. We know the Emperor died and returned the Jedi, and he was cloning himself. But Jedi can't be cloned very well, and each one of them are kind of all jacked up, you know, deformities and stuff. So was he trying to get something from Baby Yoda to try to make his clone better? So that was my tie-in right there.
Maybe.
And so two of the lore facts I found out on my next playthrough is that there is Prez Vizsla, the bigger guy that's played by John Favreau. Well, Vizsla is the last name of the guy who was the leader of the Mandalorians in the Clone Wars with the Darksaber, pre-Vizsla. He's the one that fought Darth Maul, all that. So I was like, oh, dude, that's a cool little lore fact. And then I found out, as I was looking at more of this stuff, that the Razor Crest, which is the Mandalorian ship, was in The Rise of Skywalker. I never realized it.
Huh.
Like in that scene, when they're coming in
With all the ships flying in?
Yeah, it's in there. And I was like,
Wow.
what? So, you know, either the ship gets passed down or something. Anyways.
Yeah. No, that's interesting.
That is
pretty
a cool fact.
Yeah.
May tie in.
GG.
May tie in.
GG.
Right on.
So let's get hyped for Cyberpunk.
Oh, let's get big hype.
Meat and potatoes.
Oh yeah.
So I want to know, before we get into all the nitty gritty, because Prime's going to take us through it. You got the Nomad, Street Kid, and Corporate. I want to know in chat, and I want to know from you guys, who are you going to pick? What path are you going to pick?
Easy.
I've been thinking about this a bit, and I think I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna probably end up going with the Corporate.
100%.
Really?
It definitely
100%.
feels this game is like the awesome sequel for me to the Deus Ex games. I really love those games.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have 3 playthroughs of the first one, and I only did the second one time, but still really enjoyed those. I get a lot of feelings about from that. So and Jensen he wasn't necessarily a corporate man, but he worked for the corporate side a lot. So I'm gonna end up probably building my character very similar to that.
Okay.
So Corporate for sure for me.
I've been on the fence between Corporate and really curious to see how the Nomad plays out.
Mm-hmm.
I know Johnny Silverhand, I believe, is a Nomad, and so if that playthrough gets me better, I don't know, interactions, dialogue with him, and it's pretty cool. And if it's Mad Max as they describe style, I'll give it a shot. But probably Corporate will be my first playthrough too.
Yeah. I mean, strong same. I'm a Slytherin, so cutthroat manipulative sounds good to me.
There you go.
Yeah, and similar to what Crow said, which is like it reminds him of a different game. Oof, I know they did bad, but your girl loves Cerberus from Mass Effect. So if that's not
Yes.
Cerberus, then I don't know what is. So
That's very true. Dang
I
it. How did I
I am
change it? Crap.
I know it. I'm a big Cerberus fan. I have I've done some role play in the day, so like I have kind of like original characters that are in the back of my mind, and one of them is like a Cerberus kind of gal who basically is what corporate says here. So like I'm basically just gonna make my Cerberus OC and
There you go.
and go to town. So it's gonna be pretty fun. I'm really excited about corporate. If I was gonna do a second
Living the dream.
I'd probably do Street Kid, I think. But corporate, that you cannot change my mind. I'm like that meme, right?
Right.
Corporate changed my mind.
Change my mind.
There
Yeah. All I gotta say is, country boys will survive. So I'm gonna go Nomad.
Yeah. You're such a
just-
mule.
It just
Oh
fits
my
me,
gosh,
man. Like you're on the
Mule horn
outskirts.
thing.
You
Right?
gotta find 2 pieces of stick to make your car go. So that's what you're gonna do, you know?
Let's get our boys
Buy
gotta
my
stick
money with my
together.
corporate money. I'm gonna buy my car with my corporate money.
So
you
yeah,
go.
I'll just like, I don't know, I'll like
Piece it
jack your
together.
car or piece it together for you. Yeah,
There
you
you
can
go.
pay me to piece your car together.
I got a
You
new
need that
carburetor.
carburetor? I got a
Hot
Cadillac
wire that
converter.
carburetor into the alternator.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
You got any of
Well,
that
that-
blinker
that-
fluid?
Right? Oh.
Headlight
Can't
fluid.
let that get low.
Got
No.
refilled headlight fluid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing we noticed recently with the recent reveal was CD Projekt Red diving deep with those 3 origins. I
Mhm.
mean, we knew kind of in the past what some of the classes were,
Yeah.
but the origins, what really took me for a ride was how no matter which origin you pick, you start in a different spot,
Yep.
either in the city or outside in the Badlands.
So dope.
And it's going to, the prologue, by the time the prologue ends, you're going to end up in the same area you'd be, no matter which class you picked.
Yep.
So that, for one, says there's definitely going to be 3 playthroughs at least for me. I'm going to have to do each one.
Yeah.
I mean, most games you pick a class, you still start in the same area,
Area.
take the
Mhm.
same path. This
Yeah.
is completely different, and that's pretty cool.
It's amazing. Yeah, there's a lot of things that Cyberpunk's doing, in the RPG genre that's not done a lot while still, feeling familiar, like it's, still an RPG game. And
Right.
but they're like even the fact that it's first person is just so RPG games are not first person very
No.
often. Like, and
Very
Mhm.
rarely.
I've heard that be a complaint from some people, but I think it's great. Like, just do it. It's gonna feel so immersive. And then you get these like completely different starting points. It's so great.
Yeah.
Especially if they can nail down the shooting aspect of it and the combat,
Yeah.
first person view. And
Yeah.
some games have done a good job, like Chronicles of Riddick. That was an amazing first person shooting fighting game. It's one of the examples.
Never
But they
played
can nail that
one.
down. A first person view is not going to be any issue for me whatsoever.
No.
And maybe not for Mule because he's complained about it.
I mean, here's the thing, man. If you're gonna go, like, if we're gonna get into it, I'm just gonna. Okay, so if you're doing first person point of view, the gunplay has to be crisp. If
Yep.
it's off and it doesn't feel good, it's just not gonna jive well. That's why I think it would be better suited, in my opinion, if we had a third person view, kind of over the shoulder view for shooting. Also, because I feel like one of the cool things about Cyberpunk is the aesthetics and the environment. And I want to see those on myself as I'm walking around the city and be like, dude, look at my face. It's like half cyborg. It looks freaking awesome, you know? And
You
just
just look
like,
in the mirror and you can see it.
They
yeah, but it's
they
just not
need
the
to
same
have a
feel.
photo mode if they're
Yeah.
going to not have a third person option. I agree with
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
there. There's nothing more fun than playing a game where you make your own character and then you can just tab out and see your character, or you're
Right,
playing
yeah.
third person. They will so Fake in the chat is saying they will have a photo mode, which I'm not surprised. I mean, most games don't, or most games do, excuse me, have one. I said the wrong thing.
It's AAA, it's 2020.
It's AAA, right. I mean,
CD Projekt Red.
At this point, the only game that doesn't have a photo mode that needs one is Destiny. Bungie, if you're listening. But yeah, so they're gonna have one for sure. So you'll still be able to enjoy your character, just not like whilst playing. Plus, there'll be cutscenes and everything where you'll see your character. So
yeah, and I think you can actually hit your like start menu too, and you can see your character. Yeah. If I remember correctly, I remember seeing some stuff like that.
Yeah, in the menus, it'll have your character on the screen, from what I saw.
Correct.
Right.
And
well, before we go to,
like,
go ahead, Crow.
When you like change your character, it's visibly shown on them. Like augments will actually show up as part of the features of your character.
Yeah.
So
that's gonna be cool, man. We've seen tons of different augment options on all the NPCs, so there's got to be a huge variety that we can do to our own character.
Yeah,
at least I hope so.
I mean, they've said that I forget what they call the doctors that work on you.
Fixers.
Like there's a bunch of different fixers, and all the different fixers have different things, so you won't find everything at the same one.
And yes, Mama, the beards will be shown off.
Beards will be shown.
The beard customization apparently is very impressive to those who played it, and I'm excited about that. I don't know why.
On, they made a big fuss in a good way about the character customization. So knowing me, I'll spend about an hour in character customization before I even get started on the game.
This is the way.
An hour.
This is the way. I spend a lot of time. Don't tilt your head.
That's not.
I spend a lot of time in
that's
the
nothing.
character.
That's
I just told you I have a made up character in my head. It's not even real. Believe me, I can spend a lot of time in a character creation.
Brad, I have almost 700 hours into PSO2. Probably 100 of those are in the character customization.
Yeah, I play a lot of Destiny Mule. Like it's an important part of my gaming experience. Okay, a lot of dress.
I'm gonna be like, yeah, that looks good. We'll just go default everything. Let's go.
I've seen your I've seen your characters. I know how you play.
Bald beard, we're good.
That's it. I just need a bald and beard, and we're good.
And you can do that.
Funny.
Well, there is some in-depth details about these three classes. One thing I wanted to mention before we did that is, we talked about how each origin takes you to the same spot. Well, the reason you're able to customize it and actually be an RPG is because you come to a point where you're completely stripped of everything you had.
Yeah.
So
correct.
You have a prologue, a story. You already have abilities and gear and mods and whatnot. Something happens, you're completely stripped, and then it goes to like a cutscene where it's like 6 years up until the part where you start the actual game.
Yeah.
Where the demo starts, where you get to, it starts teaching you how to play the game. So even before you start actually playing your character, building your character, there's a butt ton that happens. And that already blows me away. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, I can't wait. Whew.
Yeah. And speaking of each three characters, it's also noted that you'll have better access to weapons, tech, relationships, depending on which faction you choose and the decisions you make along the way. And we already know there's decisions to be made, but depending on which origin you choose, other factions are not going to relate to you in a good way, or might relate to you in a bad way. It's just from origin alone, you already have a plethora of options. That's quite amazing.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Oof.
Now, I think I'm going to say, what's that?
I said, is it November yet?
I know it needs to be here already.
I mean, when I was reading these descriptions that you wrote out, Prime, the Nomad, when I said that it was Life of Freedom, I was like, yes, that's
Give me freedom.
Nomad. Freedom,
right?
baby.
It screams Texas.
It does.
And I said it with an accent. Dang it.
Texas, dang it.
It screams Texas.
Well, you brought up Nomad, so let's just go ahead and go with that. Think Mad Max. I haven't played the game, but I've seen the older and the newer movies, and I'm getting a pretty good concept of you're out in the Badlands, the desert, fending for yourself. And the way they describe it is these characters are roaming the Badlands in a looting scrapyards, raiding fuel depots, life on the road, and living in a tribal lifestyle. So you sounds like you have factions within factions in this desert area. People just trying to scrap by. That's
Max
pretty neat,
style.
and that definitely screams Mad Max.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Didn't they say that like get like some kind of bonus too with their like cars or something? 'Cause since they kind of live out of their cars. I don't know. Maybe I was just
I
hearing that.
might have heard that. I know your
don't
cars are
remember.
highly customizable, so I'm
Let's
guessing
say-
that's
Yeah, and they like loot the scrapyards and stuff too. So yeah, maybe
Okay.
they like have access to more car parts. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Thad. I was
that's good. I'm over it, I think. But there's also
I'm following the notes, man.
right. But you bring up that access to more parts. I also recall in a video they have access to like shipments of weapons and gear. So they might not be able to say have access to directly like the Corpo might have,
Yeah.
or a black market like Street Kid, but they know the logistics of it, and they can
Yeah.
intercept and steal. Once again,
Ooh.
Mad Max.
Dude, I want like 2 guns in my hand, shooting them in the air and be like, freedom, mofos.
And I'll just call on my drones to drop something off for me.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do a little Amazon drone stuff for yourself.
Yeah.
Society wise, the Nomads are pretty much at the bottom of the totem pole per se.
Yeah.
But they're all about family, integrity, and like Mule said, freedom.
Freedom, baby.
Freedom.
let's see.
FREE.
I think you've already mentioned it. Nomads will have unique dialogue and options in the Badlands, and more advantages like the vehicles and being an engineer. But I think I recalled earlier is that I think Johnny Silverhand actually is of Nomad origin. So if that helps that interaction and more dialogue options, I'm excited for that.
That's basically like a Luke
and-
Skywalker.
It's a fun fact you mentioned that. Did you guys notice Johnny Silverhand in that last demo at the very end? He kind of phased out
Yes.
a little
Yeah.
bit.
He's not
So-
a physical. He's a like a projection in your mind.
Yeah.
That is
What?
too
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
They,
Yeah.
they
Force
explained
ghost.
it like
You know,
there's
a force ghost.
Yeah.
you
Pretty
have
much.
some like chip that he's in or he's interacting with you through the whole
Mule's
thing. So
like-
he'll show up, like you can see him,
Yeah.
but
Like
other people can't. Like I've seen multiple things where you're in a conversation with someone and he just like pops up over in the background, just like standing there listening.
yeah, like
just, like, leaning against the wall,
Horizon
like,
Zero Dawn, kind of
okay.
like with
Yeah, yeah.
silence almost.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that when I first discovered that, I was like, "What? Uh-oh. Bring it on, Mule."
Tell me more.
So yeah, for your perspective, he is like a force ghost.
Oh, jeez, man.
That's gonna be so
Love
cool.
it. Love it.
And it's Keanu freaking Reeves. That's gonna be amazing. I can't wait to hear how "whoa" is in there.
Yeah.
A lot.
Whoa.
Maybe not.
You're breathtaking.
You're
Whoa.
breathtaking. I'm thinking probably more like John Wick than anything.
Yeah.
'Cause, God, he freaking nailed it in those movies. All right. Corpo is the most popular one. We'll say that for last. Street Kid. I know Anxious is very pumped for Street Kid. So they're like the middle ground street smart class. Kind of a little bit of both worlds. They grew up in Night City and they're considered the rogues of Night City, doing what they can to survive. So maybe not so much the slums, but they came from a low spot, raised and brought up with the gangsters and fixers, the dolls of Night City. And because of that, they're super savvy with all those types.
Yep.
So they're able to, interact, mingle. I'm guessing much better dialogue options, being able to do things without force with
Nice.
these individuals and gangs
Yeah.
and fixtures and whatnot. Maybe better repairs done on their implants. But just like the Badlands, they'll have, like I just mentioned, extra dialogue options. So Night City is an amazing looking place.
Oof.
And listening to Paris talk about it, he said that he was blown away because the city is just alive no matter where you go.
Yep.
Constant dialogue options, people actually doing things, not just mindless NPCs going through a few lines and then
Yeah.
repeat. there's stuff going on. That's reason enough for me to really kind of debate on maybe going Street Kid first, because I want to see Night City for all it's worth right off the bat.
And from what I've seen, you're probably going to spend a lot of time in areas that are considered like the Street Kid area.
Yeah,
Sure.
You're going to
ghetto, the slums, or however.
You probably will spend a whole lot of time there, and a bit more in the corporate as well. A lot less, it seems like, in more of the outlands, the Badlands. So it'll be interesting.
Yep.
It's hard to know.
Go ahead. Like playing a Nomad, you're going to be coming into a city, and you're like country kid coming into the big city.
Yeah.
A corporate is going to be like the big big wig that's getting like demoted, losing all of his stuff, and then Street Kid, it'll be interesting to see.
Right, because you would assume he doesn't have a lot to lose, but that story is yet to unfold, so I have no idea how they're going to play that out.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to know. We may be in the Badlands for a long period of time at one point, because everything we've seen so far is just a prologue. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of stuff in the cities in the prologue so far, but I have no idea. So, I mean, you think about Witcher, which I know I'll be talking about shortly. But like when you kind of first get into Witcher, you see a map and you're like, oh, I'm going to be over here. And then you're also like in Skellige for like 30 hours. Like, so like you have no idea. Well, I was in Skellige for 30 hours. That's where Yennefer is. So whatever. But I wanted to, spoilers. But I wanted to, like who knows? We have no idea, and I think that is so good about how they've been promoting their product. Is we really have just like no idea about what's going on.
It's probably the most secretive and hyped up game that I've ever seen.
Yeah,
and kudos to CD Projekt Red, because I never really came across them until Witcher 3.
Yeah, I think most people were the same.
Yeah. And then I fell in love with that game. I put 307 hours into that, and that game is what, 2017?
2015.
2015.
Yeah, I think it's even older.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
It's been a while, and if they can do that much and basically take my breath away in a game that old, I cannot imagine how Cyberpunk is going to be for me. I mean, you guys might not even see me on Discord anymore. Anyway, I got pictures like I'm taking shit.
He's gonna show up to like the podcast with like food in his beard and like
right.
I'll have like braids in it that he didn't do; they just formed. Like,
Yeah.
Also, shout out to chat for validating me being in Skellige for a really long time. Thank you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
I will say, speaking of Skellige and Witcher 3, Skellige was the only place that I did not clear all the question marks. I looked at it and was like,
so many.
I can't do that.
I didn't, but I still spent a lot of time there. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
I mean, that was every question mark in every mission in every other area, 100%, except for Skellige.
Yeah.
And still had 307 hours. So, last but not least, as far as origins go, corpo, cutthroat, and manipulative.
Let's
Jerks.
So we
don't encroach on my
the way they
freedom
describe
here.
it off the bat, I think it's going to be pretty much telling of how the story is going to go. Few people leave corporate world with their lives, and fewer still with their souls intact.
Ooh.
I mean, the dialogues and the stories that are going to go down with the corporate life, it's going to be pretty interesting. They've been the rules, exploit secrets, and use information as a weapon. So there's going to be some blackmailing and,
It's like your crime
cutthroat things
syndicate.
going down to get things done.
Yeah.
And Rad's all like, me.
I'm not like that in real life. So when I get
really?
the opportunity to like be a as Fake called, I'm just reading this out of chat, a fancy douchebag. I'm really excited about it. So, oh, you fancy, huh? So yeah, no,
Classic,
it's
bougie,
I
fancy.
get to run around like Draco Malfoy. Like what
There you go.
better is, I also have a Draco Malfoy pop back here. What better is there? Like there isn't. It's gonna be so fun. And something that Crow said, it made me think, I think he was saying like if you start as a street kid, you may be more familiar with a lot of the environment that we may be in, because you've grown up in that. And then nomads coming in, they're like, whoa, Night City exists. Like I've never even been there.
Dadgum, this is big.
Dadgum, oh, my tires can't even get through.
How
And
y'all
then
doing?
hey, and then but like what's interesting is corporate, like you said, you meant to say rules, but you said royals, but like they're kind of the royals of
Yep.
Night City. They run Night City. And then you're telling me that I'm gonna be this big hoity-toity Draco Malfoy kind of Night City chick, and then I'm gonna fall flat on my face and have to like deal with it. Oh, that sounds
It's
like
like
a
the Wolf
great
on Wall
story
Street.
to me.
You
Oof, that
just took
sounds
it to a
good.
different level.
Ooh,
It's like
that
the
sounds
You
Wolf
haven't
on
really
Wall
thought
Street.
this out.
Yeah.
I
You
love
are Cerberus.
Listen, y'all know that I play Destiny a lot. My bread and butter is RPG games, okay? I've
Yeah.
not been
There
as
you
excited for an RPG game as this in a long time. So I'm very, very excited.
Mama. Oh, all the sins.
Oh, all the sins.
I feel like Mama would play or a corporate just so she could put Mule down for
Probably
drinking
should
his
try.
water out of the
You
mug.
can't put a
What do you
good
mean?
boy
Find that
down.
redneck.
What do you mean you drink water out of this mug?
That's hilarious.
I'm
Yeah.
using a cup.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, speaking of corpo and cutthroat, when you are a corpo, you're gonna carpo. When you're a corpo,
Carpe
you're
diem.
yeah, I can't talk today. When you meet others with the same background, you'll already know the game they play, their manipulation. So you have a lot of opportunities and extra dialogue to actually call them out, not fall for their tricks and traps. Boom. Brad's like, praise
This
you.
is so great. This is phenomenal. I can't do
Yep.
it.
So, I mean, Carpo looks really, really, really appealing.
It's gonna be fun.
Just saying. Just saying.
Just saying.
So that's the 3 origins you can choose from. You start in different areas, takes you to the same spot. You fall flat in your face, left with nothing, and build your way back up.
Oof.
And I cannot wait to see how that unfolds.
Yeah.
But
Same.
in the meantime, there's also 3 classes we know of that are going to really be, determine your playstyle.
Well,
Netrunner,
they're like-
yes.
They're
Techie,
your
and
general.
solo.
Yeah. They're
So
they're
to
like
grow-
your general classes. Like
Right.
these are kind of like a main grouping of skills. You'll end
Right.
up probably going into. You're not going to just work all in one. Now you probably could, but I'm sure some things would be really rough if you all went like, say, you went all in Netrunner, and then you have to go up against
Oh yeah.
the what they call her, the Sasquatch.
Mhm.
In one of
Yep.
those videos, like that might be a little rough.
She was a hoss, and if you're not, you're going to have to spread your skills out for sure. If you go, like I said, one straight branch, you're going to suffer on certain part of the games, and
Yeah.
want to go back and respec your person. But
Yeah.
we can definitely go down this real quick.
Wait, I want to
The
know what you're going
Netrunner-
to pick first. I want to know
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you
yeah.
guys
Oh,
going to
yeah,
pick.
yeah. As much, yeah, I love hacking, so I want to be a Netrunner all day, especially after I saw this special weapon that you can get as a Netrunner, which looks like Wonder Woman's lasso. It's
Nice.
The nanowire. Yeah.
nano
That's
wire.
cool.
You
That's
can
cool.
slash with it. You can whip it out to hack someone from a distance, choke people out with it. I'm like, oh yeah, stealth baby.
That is you, Prime. That is you.
Very
Yep,
nice.
yep. So, stealthy computer hacking wizard type is going to be me. How about you guys?
I want to go as well Netrunner, but I'm also kind of like thinking ahead. I also want to be heavy like blades, like the mantis blades.
Techie.
So I want to be
Yeah.
like the techie tactical
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of type. I know playing with some other people like Lupo. Like Lupo, he will never go the stealthy type. I love the whole tactical stealth, like sneaking around, taking out every person before they even notice. Like I love the Batman games, like just sneaking around, spending half an hour in one room just to clear all the guys without anyone noticing.
It's satisfying, isn't it?
It is. That's gonna be a little bit more my play style, and then
Feels
being
good.
able to hack the weapons and turrets and stuff. That's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm gonna enjoy that. And then like they've shown us like in the middle of combat, you can be having a fist fight with someone pretty much and hack into their systems, and you'll be able to do that faster as like a net runner.
Dang.
Which is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, Lupo and I have something in common. Cassandra in Assassin's Creed has muscles, baby. So I just run full force in there and kill a bunch of people. And so I will probably go. I might go techie first, and the reason for that is it doesn't seem like I have to be super stealthy, but I do want to kind of stick with what I think would match someone who's corporate. So, like my gut is telling me to go solo. I think that seems so fun, but like a corporate person maybe wouldn't be like super like a what did not fake here, right? Full strength man. Like a corporate person does not stream full strength man to me. So I'm gonna go techie, but then also I think from what Crow said is it's kind of like a tree, so you can pick things in multiple classes, and sort of like start techie, but then throw some solo things in there. Like one of the first things I always do in games is like any perk that ups your health. So like wherever that is on the tree, I'm gonna like do that first.
There is one I think in solo they like you start regenerating health.
Yeah, but like as
constantly,
for like the
basically.
specific types of oh my gosh, I'm losing my ability to word. You know, like the being able to craft things and do off the record engineering and stuff. Like I want to do those first, maybe buff my health, but then move that direction. This feels like more corporate to me.
I got you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no question what Mulehorn Jenkins is going to do.
Solo.
You know it's going to be solo,
Mule's
dude. I'm
playing
gonna
a completely different game as the rest of us. I don't know what he's
Right?
doing over there.
You're going to point in a direction, and I'll go, there's where the explosions are going to be. Let's go, guys.
Well, here's an example for you, Mule. In the trailers, your partner is Jackie. Jackie's pretty much a solo build. Buffed up, busting through walls, ripping doors down, smashing faces in.
Yes.
Armor built, big guns. That's Mule.
Yes.
There you go. And you know the Netrunner has the what did you call it? Crow? The nanowire?
Nanowire, yeah.
The Techie has the blades, and Solo has gorilla hands. I mean, these things like are buffed up and extend out. I mean, it's meant to smash some stuff, and I can so see that for Mule, the classic warrior class.
Dude, I'm just reading some of your notes here about like, you know, having athletic and the armor, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna be like probably like 95% solo and 5% techie. And it's just,
I can see that.
Can I craft the stuff I need to make me stronger? Okay, let's go. You know.
For those that don't know in chat that might not know, a little breakdown of each class real quick. Techie is the techie, the crafters. They do off-record engineering for various clients. Survive Night City by building, fixing, modifying technology, and weaponsmithing, teaching, and electronic security. So bypassing security, weaponsmithing, building, crafting stuff, modifying and repairing your own modifications, I guess, better and quicker, or with less resources, perhaps. And of course, the Mantis blades. It's so satisfying. The Netrunner, they hacking, programming, electronics, cybersecurity. You can see them in the demos hacking turrets, forcing to open fire on other people, remotely shutting down other implants, or making people shoot themselves with their own gun, or making someone's ordnance that they have on their body blow up. I mean, you saw one where they made one guy, like he was waking out, some kind of alarm was going off on him, and so another guy went to go see what was happening, and he made that guy's grenades blow up when they got close together and took them both out.
Once.
I'm like, that is so stinking cool. And they used the like I mentioned, the nanowire to from, I don't know, 20 feet away, hack someone in mid combat.
Yep.
That blew me away. And let's see, solo class, like I mentioned, the warrior class, guns for hire, they're mercenaries, hitmen, bodyguards, violent work with whoever can pay, mule all the way, usually ex-military or corporate army, skilled with weapons, combat proficiency, some stealth, perception, athletics, and armor. So,
100%,
I mean,
man.
I'm probably going to go 40 net, 50 net, 40 tech, and then 10 solo. I'm going to blend it out somewhat.
Dude, Ace in
I'll
chat
probably end up
says,
doing like a 50-50 solo techie.
yeah. Ace
It's a
says he
radical
can't
build.
decide now. And I'm going to tell you, Ace, just go solo, baby. Just blow it up, man. You know you want
Go
to.
solo, baby.
Yeah.
So there's one other area that really was demonstrated in the last demo that I think is really cool. It's the brain dance.
Mhm.
It's where you access the memories of another person. I don't think they necessarily have to be dead,
No,
but
not necessarily.
Paris also described this as a mix of Witcher 3 senses, Batman Arkham detective mode on steroids.
Yeah.
And from what I saw, that's really stinking cool. It's basically you're in a virtual simulation, kind of
Mhm.
like The Matrix, or a really watered down version of it, and you're basically interacting as them and seeing things from different perspectives. So you can literally rewatch a part of history or that something happened from someone else's perspective.
Yeah.
That's like the ultimate detective mode, and that's going to be really awesome.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It makes me think of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, to be honest, the Artemis system. You hack into the DNA of the ancients, and then
Yeah.
you're living through their perspective.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to really enjoy that.
Yeah, it was really cool seeing it in the Night City Wire a couple weeks ago. I wrote a little article up about it, and that was one of
That
the
you
main things
did.
they showed. And it was really cool. And I think people were kind of like they were wanting gameplay, and like that was it gameplay? I don't know, but I think what's more interesting about whether that was or wasn't gameplay is how are we going to use that in the game? Like, where does that come into the story? Why is it so important? They made a big deal to show us about brain dance. Like, I'm really looking forward to like when does V decide that they need to use a brain dance to figure something out? Why do they need to use it? So I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
I'm looking forward to it.
Any
Yeah.
other thoughts on brain dance, boys?
I'm just hoping it's not overused.
Yeah.
I don't want it to
Also,
be
I agree.
overused, but then
I
I
agree.
don't want it to be only used like 1 or 2 times.
Yeah.
Because
Make it,
Yeah.
they're making a big deal about it, so I doubt they're gonna you're only gonna use it like 1 or 2 times. It's probably going to be I can't remember what it was, but I remember some other game. Or maybe I'm just kind of combining thoughts of different things together. But like I could see it being used as kind of like Arkham, where it's a detective. You're using it
like
to
a sense.
figure out things. So
Yeah.
maybe you go into like, say you're supposed to meet a contact and you find them dead. So you need to figure out what happened to them. So you take their brain dance, because it seems like it's part of like most people's cybernetics.
Mhm.
That it connects to like some like much huger system, kind of like imagine like the system for watchdogs. Like it's everywhere, it's watching everything
Right.
at the same time. So maybe you'll have to once in a while use it to help figure out where something is, like almost like eagle sense. You're backtracking to figure out what happened through crimes and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm
Or maybe like tracking items. Like that's another thing you could probably use it for.
Yeah, because in the one thing that they showed off, like it's 2 guys robbing a convenience store, and you're using different things to figure out. Like you can scan. You don't just see or feel the perspective just from the main guy. You see it from the lady that he shoves onto the ground. You see it through the
Security
security
cameras.
systems in the convenience store. It's a wider network than just a single person's memories and implant.
Totally
You
a
can
watchdog
use
stuff.
that, but you can use a lot more than just that.
Right,
Yeah.
for sure. So, Mule, any
You know,
thoughts on Braindance? Or
yeah, it really makes me think. I can't remember that movie. There was a movie where you're a detective and everyone has basically implants in their eyes and everything is recorded in what they do in their life.
that's a
And
Black
this
Mirror episode?
No,
That
it's
is a Black
actually a
Mirror
movie.
episode. But
I can't remember the name of the movie, but this is what it makes me think of is like basically you can just like, okay, let's pull up their like SIM card or whatever from their brain and see what they saw. And what's interesting in the movie, and I wonder if they're going to weave this into the game, is how people use that to manipulate situations to make it appear like certain things happen and they really don't. So
False
the
memories?
corporate side of things can kind of like
Interesting.
use that for like blackmail, basically.
I mean, that's actually a big concept of Ghost in the Shell. A lot of stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
They use people's memories and doctor it to make it look like something else happened,
Okay.
or just straight up mind control people.
I just
Right.
watched an episode of X-Men about that.
Yep.
Dun-dun-dun-dun,
Dun-dun-dun.
dun-dun-dun.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Yep, totally.
I wish I could remember
All
what the
right.
name of that movie was, but it was really good because it really makes me think about this a lot.
Neil's gonna wake up at like 3 in the morning. It
Got it.
was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has
funny.
what's his name? Clive. Maybe, I don't know. I'll have to try to find it.
Clive
Clive
Owen.
Owen.
I can't remember. I'll have to look.
Clive Owen. That was a Black Mirror episode for sure. Because that was
Because
him.
I'm
Was in that?
thinking, what I think of is,
I'll find it. I'll find it.
Want to say, well, it also kind of reminds me of Minority Report.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
way.
that's what
I
Matt
get
wrote in the
vibes from
chat.
that a little bit, but that's
Yeah.
not the one that there's another one that I'm thinking about as well.
Ooh, yeah. Ghost in the Shell. It's also a very good reference there.
Hmm.
So, what are we thinking about things we're excited about and things we're not so excited about? I'll start it off with this. I already mentioned the open world, how it's alive. I cannot wait for that. Once again, referencing Paris, he said when he played it, he noticed there was a cyber assassin out there who was killing police. And he turned the corner at one time, saw it go down, and was like, nope, not going to mess with that. I'll come back to that later. Because he was under-leveled. He knew he would get murked for trying to intervene. But the fact that was happening all around him, he's like, man, that's so cool. Like, I agree. That is awesome.
I do like, though, that they did make comments in one of their videos like, you could be going up against a lot higher level guys, but okay, so we're not going to fight them. Let's talk with them to get
Yep.
through this. Let's
Mhm.
try to wheal and deal instead
Combat
of having to try and
options, hacking
take
options,
Yep.
engineering options, and dialogue. I mean,
Mhm.
there's so many different branches you can take from a single scenario. And that's not on top of the origin and class you pick. I mean, the playthrough
Yeah,
replayability is going to be amazing in this game.
Mhm.
Let's see.
You know,
That lends to choices and consequences, hacking a brain dance, Johnny frickin' Silverhand. Can't wait for that. And beards. Can't wait to have my character finally have a good, great beard. I think, was it either Dragon Age Inquisition and maybe the Division? I had a good beard.
Division,
That's
there were
about-
some good beards.
Andromeda had okay beards. It wasn't long, but they were kind of full, depending on the hair. I mean, the character customization in Andromeda wasn't good, but it was okay for beards.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad. Heartburns, I hear the driving's not that great yet, but they're working on it, so we'll see how the final product is.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Y'all ready for this?
I'm really divided on the beards because a lot of RPG type games I play as female, but that's mainly because I have this golden rule, like it's gaming rule for me. If it's a third person game, I'm gonna play as a female because I don't want to look at a guy's ass all the time. I'd rather look at something that I enjoy.
Just putting it out there, I guess.
Yep. I mean, I've said it multiple times on different streams. Like,
There you
no,
go.
I play female characters because I'm just gonna look at something that I enjoy. I don't want to look at some guy's ass all the time.
So half the hours you spend in this game is just walking around, right?
And then but it's also like it's not third person, but it also gives me that Jensen vibe, like I've said before, and I really love that character. It's gonna be hard.
Yeah,
really hard.
There'll definitely be lots of hours spent in customization to decide my first playthrough and second.
100%. Yeah.
Facts. Mule, Rad,
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the customization of the characters and just the individuality of it. In many of the articles that I write about games, a huge word that I use is immersion. I'm just really looking forward to sinking into the world and, fleshing out my character and walking away from it with the same sort of feeling, I hope, from this with the same sort of feeling as I feel about, my favorite games, Mass Effect, Horizon Zero Dawn, Witcher. I know in some of those you don't make your own character, but you still flesh out your character. You're still making choices throughout the game that give you that sense of individuality. So when it comes to games like this, these AAA titles that the whole point is to tell you a story. Oof, I'm salivating at the mouth, like thinking about it. So that's what I'm really excited for. I saw earlier in the chat people were talking about romances. I love all of that stuff. I just love the ability to make a character that resembles me, but I have the freedom to be Rachel in a world where consequences aren't quite the same. I've gotten better about naming characters. My first ever OC in a game was Skyrim, and I didn't know what to name her, so I was a Nord named Rachel. But I've come a long way since then, so it'll be really, really fun. I mean, I know in this game you're named V, but whatever. My brain doesn't need to commit to that. It's fine.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
But yeah, so
I think some of the things I'm most excited for is the actual environment that Cyberpunk's in. Like,
yes,
I love sci-fi and futuristic type films, and just the thought of like being in a world that's like that gets me excited. Because
Blade Runner.
Yeah, exactly, like a Blade Runner feel, or what's that Netflix show? Gosh, I went blank.
Altered Carbon.
Altered Carbon.
Altered Carbon. Yeah,
or even
exactly.
Expand.
Yeah, Expand. Yeah. It's very cool sci-fi, techie, like futuristic, kind of messes with your head a little bit, because like, whoa, what if you have chips in your brain and what can that do? Like, that kind of stuff is cool. And the fact that you can like basically do like you do in Mass Effect, and you can just kind of make yourself kind of part of the machines.
Oof,
Oh,
yeah, I chose that ending.
Yeah.
Neil, did you play the Deus Ex games at all?
No, I did not.
Oh,
the whole like unifying humanity, like with the chip, like that is almost the premise of the first one.
Yeah.
Like they're putting out this chip, and this company is using it to control people.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting because it's going to bring up a lot of like the things that make games good is when you're put into a moral dilemma, right? When you're playing the game and you're like,
Paragon, Renegade.
What do I do?
Choose.
Paragate.
Paragon.
So that type of stuff I'm really excited
very
for.
Paragade.
Yeah,
I'm a very renegade, but I do it for the right reasons.
I know it's save game, Renegade. Okay.
Then you go back
and game, Paragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, man, I'm a little worried about the driving. I'm a little worried about the shooting and not having the third person point of view. because if they don't nail the combat and the driving with the first person perspective, it's gonna feel kind of like hokey, just kind of.
Well, the driving has
Wishy-washy.
Driving,
you
I
can
don't
have
think is there
first
is
or
only
third.
I think you can change for
Okay,
driving.
that's good.
You can
That's
alternate.
good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. But like, especially with the gunplay, like as much as like for us, we like RPGs, but we like first person shooters as well. And when you have games that are smooth like Halo and Destiny and all these other games like Apex that
Yeah.
we play, if it's not very smooth in the gunplay and it feels kind of clunky, that will probably put me off. And that I'll probably play it, but I don't know how far I would get within the game unless the story just compels me enough.
Right.
So I'm really worried about that, man, because like some of the video I saw on the gunplay, it looked not super crisp, but I know they're still working on it. Like it's a work in progress. But
We've
Yeah.
only seen the
And-
older builds anyway, so
Yeah, and some of
Yeah.
those videos you see, like they're actually more edited and constructed to be shown. It's not actual like this is somebody playing the game the way that you and I would play the game.
Yeah.
It's like those
it's
those
constructed.
Yeah, those funny, like I remember watching, I hope we get an announcement this weekend. I remember watching something for a Far Cry game like a few years ago, and it was like the slowest pan I'd ever seen. And I was like, that better not be what the game is like, because I do not have time for a pan to be that slow. And it's just, it's just part of the demonstration. And the other thing I was going to say is you are so spot on when it comes to, especially, I was just watching a video about PvP and Destiny, and the content creator said we are so spoiled in Destiny because it is maybe the best gunplay first person game out right now. Like the gunplay is so good, the first person aspect. And so Mule, I just encourage you so strongly to not compare apples to oranges, because Cyberpunk is just it's not
I know.
Destiny. Like it's not going to be the same as Destiny. Like don't
and
let it hurt you.
by the way.
That's why I was hoping for like a over the shoulder shooter like in Mass Effect Andromeda or Mass Effect 3. Because like with that over the shoulder shooter, you have a lot more wiggle room for forgiveness and the way it feels shooting.
Yes, but this is a very fluid game, a lot faster pace than a lot of over the shoulder types are, and I feel like it's gonna help it for the first person.
I hope so.
I'm sure it'll be weird at first when we're so used to Destiny and Apex. Apex is so fast, I'm sure it's gonna feel so weird, but I just have such faith. I mean, Witcher was so good. I know they're different games, but like
See, and I didn't like
Same
the Witcher
universe.
combat.
same universe.
We know.
Sorry.
So Pal brings up a good point. You have to look at it through the lens of like a movie style or animated delivery, and I think he's right. If you kind of look at it that way, smooth gameplay, seamless throughout the interactions, not so heavy shooter. Yeah, I feel that.
I mean, I think the reason they're probably going first person is because there's going to be like tech abilities and things like that, like the freaking mantis arms that you have that like you can like stab people with sword like arms. That's probably why you're going to be so first person, because it's kind of going to be gritty and in your face.
Yeah, it's part of the aesthetic. It's part of the aesthetic.
Yeah, it'll be better. It's gonna be also, if you're third person, like a HUD kind of breaks the immersion. If you're first person, if you've got a heads up display, that's part of your cybernetics that's implanted, so it's gonna pop up. We could go for hours on debating on this though, like why, like lore wise, why you're gonna be first person, right?
Yeah.
Obviously.
That's
Speaking of debating, Brad,
Debating.
you have a certain tinfoil subject you want to lay on us?
First of all, I literally meant to make a tinfoil hat and I forgot. I've had kind of a weird day, so I apologize. But I was gonna put a tinfoil hat on. Thank you. You can wear it for me.
I got you, Brad.
For you.
Look, I was looking this up before we started. A couple years ago, I think that the creator, the main developer, I forgot his name, whatever. has said that no, we will not get a Ciri cameo in the game. I don't buy it. I do not buy it. There's a whole scene in Witcher where she describes the entire world of Night City, and somehow, some way, Ciri is going to come up in the game. Maybe we're not going to see Ciri. Maybe we're not going to interact with Ciri. I think we're going to see a wanted poster for Ciri, something like that, something that indicates that there's the, I don't want to spoil too much of Witcher, but it's been out for 5 years. If you haven't played it,
Yeah.
sorry.
It's on
There's
you.
going to be elves looking for Ciri, whether we know they're elves or not, whatever. But something is gonna come up. Good. Paris said there was a Ciri thing pop up, and we had to
That's
find
right.
it.
He did say that.
Phenomenal. I don't buy that. I didn't buy it then. I don't buy it now. What it's going to be, I'm not really sure. I bet Paris's experience did not allow him to pursue it. But there is going to be some heckin' Ciri stuff in this game. If you guys have not played Witcher and you're not planning on it, but you're planning on playing this game and you don't know what I'm talking about, go to YouTube and just search Ciri talks about Cyberpunk. The whole scene will pop up and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And it's really, really cool. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they tie that together. And shout out to, it was Wolf. Wolf, you're the man. You know that already. Thank you for telling me that Paris said that was in there. So it's not really a tinfoil hat anymore, but I'm super stoked. I think that's great. And it's going to be awesome. Same universe, man. It's going to be so good.
November can't get here any faster.
Yeah, not.
Right.
And I want to give another shout out to Mad Dog because of him, I actually get the game and the collector's edition box.
Wow.
I won that through one of his contests a while back, and
Nice.
Very good.
I can't wait to see that package come in the mail and literally start drooling.
Did you order yourself a secret lab chair?
No,
See
but
that? I'll send it to you. They have like limited quantity Cyberpunk chairs. They look so dope.
Oh,
Need it?
dang.
Need it?
is that
I'm
one
gonna
that
send it to you.
Paris got? Because Paris got a lot of
I-
Cyberpunk gear lately, and one of them's a chair.
Yeah, it probably was that one. It's like bright yellow.
Give me that Cyberpunk Xbox, man.
Yeah.
That looks good too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be getting it for PC.
Yeah.
Because of course, but yeah, I'll send you that link. Sad.
Do that.
Send the link.
This chair needs to be retired. My office chair.
Yeah. Well, right on, guys. Any closing thoughts before we wrap up this episode?
Thanks for having me on, and hopefully I stuck to the notes well.
You did. And notably this time.
Notably. Thanks for having me on. I know I'm a guest, and it's always nice to be well thought of, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
All day
100%.
long.
All day long.
All
Well, guys,
day long.
if you like the podcast, then make sure you visit mulehorngaming.com on the About page to find more great content creators there. And if you're looking for some mule swag, you can find the store as well on the website. And if you would, guys, like us on Facebook, leave us a review on iTunes. You can follow us all on Twitter. Remember, guys, when in doubt,
Hack it up.
Bang, bang, boom.
Explosion.
Nice.
Hey.